Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, do you remember when he wanted to be our vice president and was bragging that all of these types of new small businesses were reasons why he should be trusted with leading?
Yes.
And now we're determining what all these small businesses like the Leering Center were. And look at what the leader of California said. Did he really say, in response to you uncovering just astronomical fraud and waste, that, and I want to quote this because I am appalled by it. Did he really say, slow, surely is the fraud?
Yes, he did.
This is, oh my goodness, we just got caught. Let's throw out a bunch of blood in the water, go after other people, make sure people blame it on somebody else, but don't pay attention to us.
Wow. What if the very programs that were promoted as proof of economic leadership are now being questioned for fraud and waste? That is exactly what exploded during a Senate hearing that has Washington talking. I watched as a Republican senator took direct aim at Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, arguing that the small business initiatives he once highlighted during his vice presidential campaign are now under serious scrutiny. But that was only the beginning. The hearing became even more dramatic when investigator Nick Shirley testified that California Governor Gavin Newsom responded to fraud allegations with a mocking remark instead of addressing the substance of the claims. The senator called that response appalling and accused state leaders of trying to deflect attention from where taxpayer money may have gone. Today I'm breaking down the most explosive moments of that hearing, the claims about a growing fraud economy in Washington, the proposed anti-fraud legislation, and the election integrity reforms that were put on the table. And if you want more fact-based breakdowns of major political hearings and accountability battles in Washington, click the subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.
As well. But I'm so glad that we have these because I just want to point out, and this is nothing that I prepared for, but Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, do you remember when he wanted to be our vice president and was bragging that all of these types of new small businesses were reasons why he should be trusted with leading?
Yes.
And now we're determining what all these small businesses like the Leering Center were. He used this as a reason that he gave the American people of why he should leave. So why are we surprised that immediately he's defensive and comes after a young kid that's trying to point out on behalf of his generation where this money is really going and this fraud? And look at what the leader of California said. Did he really say, in response to you uncovering just astronomical fraud and waste, that, and I want to quote this because I am appalled by it. Did he really say, slow, surely is the fraud?
Yes, he did.
I didn't misread that? That wasn't misprinted?
No.
So
that's directly from
somebody that wants to be the leader of the Democratic Party and show his great, I guess, character is demeaning you and calling you names and ridiculing you? Really?
Yes, that is Gavin Newsom.
I would suggest that anyone could see what this is. This is, oh my goodness, we just got caught. Let's throw out a bunch of blood in the water, go after other people, make sure people blame it on somebody else, but don't pay attention to us. What is that, like ink?
Yes, and actually Gavin Newsom just yesterday, he's giving now $20 million to local journalists. They're going to be able to get grants up to $250,000 to do journalism inside of California. He's essentially paying for good press with our tax dollars as well.
I have to also commend my other colleague, Mr. Johnson, who was saying, you know, in California, instead of the Stop Nick Shirley Act, they should call it Protect Fraudsters Act. I mean, truly, this should be a wake-up call to everyone in America that the people that the Dems want to put in charge of their parties and in charge of their government, as soon as something is brought to their attention in a good faith way, their response is not to say, let's roll up our sleeves and dig in. The response is to say, nothing to see here. The person that bringing up is, let me make sure I have this, slow and a fraud himself. And let's propose legislation not only so that we can keep covering it up, but that we can go after them.
Yes, and I wanted this to be on the record. Never once has a Democrat politician ever congratulated me or said, thank you for exposing this, or even reached out to say, hey, maybe come check out what's happening inside of our state. they are quite frankly complicit in the fraud. And that's
Well,
why none of them are here today. Like, what
Maybe
is this?
complicit, trying to cover up something, aiding and abetting,
100%.
promoting their own political careers over tax-paying, hardworking Americans. I thank you. There is an entire fraud economy. I thank President Trump and his administration that is uncovering this. It's positive news that they're uncovering more and more of it, but it is sad that we are seeing so much of it. When I came to Washington, I was like, we need to take a machete to all of the bureaucracy, all of this has always been, every time I bring up a problem, the Dem response is, we've always had fraud, or we've always had coercion of individuals, or we've always had this, but they never once say, let's do something about it. So I would actually ask my colleagues, I have proposed in response to this, if we want to do something about it, if we want to be aggressive, we need to start proposing solutions. I thank my colleague, Senator Ernst. I have also proposed the Stop Child Care Scams Act, the Stop Fraud and Medicaid Act, the No Aid for Ghost Students Act, Punishing Healthcare Fraudsters Act. This is just a few that we are working on with my colleague, Senator Schmidt. We have launched a Senate task force against fraud. And I know they don't like to talk about fraud. They get really itchy when we talk about any kind of fraud, especially election fraud. And instead of saying, okay, let's explore what people are saying, or trying to discredit them, or picking someone that knows nothing about it when they come into hearing and saying, did President Trump win the election? The person would have no way of knowing, and making them say that, and see, they said that. Instead of actually exploring fraud and doing something about it, I think we need to make sure that we don't just address it, we don't just ask what we can do, but we bolster the American people's trust in our elections. And the way we do that is to follow the Florida blueprint. We used to be a national embarrassment with the hanging chads, getting ballot results after everybody went to sleep, days later. Within just 2 decades, we've turned that around. We have results by bedtime. People trust Florida elections. We can do that in this nation, which is why I want to propose legislation that says ballots by election day. Ballots by election day. So people have faith in the results of their elections. Mr. O'Keefe, and I'm over time, but is this something you think would bring better trust by Americans in our elections if we could announce results by election day, ballots in by election days, excluding military, of course?
Senator, I do. Citizenship verification answers whether a person is eligible, but it does not answer whether the applicant is that person. And that's what we saw in California. So federal reform should require identity to be verified before a registration gets active. I think Congress should look at that as well.
You just wait. So let's step back and look at what happened here. A Republican senator accused Tim Walz of promoting programs that are now facing scrutiny for alleged fraud and waste. Nick Shirley testified that Gavin Newsom mocked him rather than addressing the allegations directly. The hearing also featured claims about taxpayer-funded journalism grants, warnings about a broader fraud economy, and a slate of proposed anti-fraud bills. Finally, the discussion turned to election integrity, with proposals for ballots to be received by election day and for stronger identity verification in voter registration. Whether you agree with the senator's conclusions or not, one thing is certain: the demand for accountability is becoming a major political issue heading into the next election cycle. Now, I want your take. Which issue from this hearing concerns you the most? The alleged misuse of taxpayer funds, the media grant controversy, or the election integrity debate? Drop your answer in the comments below. If you found this breakdown informative, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next major hearing analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.